Welcome, this is Pine Leaf Needles, Skirmisher Middle Earth. Today I'm standing here next to the Boar Fountain in Bree, where Erkenbrand's messenger stands to tell us about the Epic Battle System. The Epic Battle System is a new system that is being added in this expansion, where you can participate in epic battle starting at level 10. I think level 10 is a bit low for that, but since I'm now at level 53, there shouldn't be too much trouble in the matter. Now whatever level you are, you will be upscaled to level 95 while running an epic battle. In this case, instead of like skirmishes where you scale up, now where the skirmish scales to you, in big battles, the you scale to the instance. And this enables people of different levels to participate together in them. Now here we are with Aragorn, who will give us our tutorial. Saruman's armies will soon be here, Pineleaf, but I fear that my companions do not know what to expect. An epic battle is not like the engagements we have faced to this point, and I want to ensure that our friends are ready. The valley will soon be filled with Saruman's enemies. We must prepare for battle. I have fought in many wars, Aragorn. I know what is to be done. This will be different, Gimli. This is no small engagement. In the battle to come, the forces of Saruman will care little for individual heroes. They seek nothing less than the total destruction of Rohan, man, woman, and child. You're saying that they will pay me no heed? Then I will make them suffer for their oversight. I know you will, my friend, but what are the actions of a single man or elf or dwarf? Our foes number in the thousands. Ah, of course, my axe can only reach so many. Yep. That is why we must also instruct the men of Rohan on how to best fight during each battle. Commander! Yes, Aragorn. During the tumult of battle, we cannot speak to every man individually. Instead, we will suggest tactical approaches to commanders such as you. Then you will relay them to the men under your command. Very good. So his squad includes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, plus his officer below him. So we have a commander, an officer, and 8 there. And the officer looks like a shield maiden. Selecting the commander will highlight all of the soldiers under his command. During battle, by speaking with someone awaiting orders, like a commander, you can change the tactics of a group of soldiers. Some options are available at the outset, such as healing the soldiers over time and increasing their damage output. Other options become available after spending points in the officer battle role. And what he's talking about there is you saw before the trait trees we had for our base system. There's also a trait tree for big battles. Yes, how about that? And you'll spend points into your various trees. And as you spend these points, you will gain expertise in engineering as an officer or as a vanguard. These are 1 point apiece items. Actually, they're 1 point apiece for the first rank. If you have multiple ranks, each subsequent rank costs a little bit more. But you get a lot more points on there that you'll earn during the course of big battles. And the idea is that you'll eventually unlock higher and higher ranks, which allow you to have more and more options. And you get the first rank, you need to put 20 or more points into the engineering branch. Then you need 40 or more points. 60 or more points. Actually, looks like it is the number of points, not the number of tiers. My mistake there. 100 points, and then 120 or more points. So you get 1 point for rank 1, then you need 2 points for rank 2, etc. So it's done by points rather than by ranks, as opposed to how it works on the regular trait trees. And the idea is you unlock new skills and abilities as you go up. Now, just so I can show you what this is like, here's the commander awaiting orders. Here are the men under his command. And here you could order him to heal.
We will stand to see the dawn!
And you get a cooldown on it. The cooldown gets reduced if you can get reduced by adding ranks and skill points in there. Haste makes them go faster.
Pick up the pace!
Ask them to do a little bit more damage.
Let's clear them out!
A little bit more armor.
Stand fast and hold your ground!
Doing all these at once is probably not a good idea. It probably helps to learn the tactically best times to do it, if you're going to go around commanding people like this. Now, I'll be mostly going through a different line, so I'm probably not going to get very far on the commander line. But, just because I don't have any ranks in commander, I can still use those 4 orders. Now here, siege armor is he will order a squad to protect themselves from incoming assault fire, increasing the fell rot defenses for sure. This requires officer rank 1, and arrow volley armor, so either prepare themselves against various types of special things require thing. Here you can assign a target priority if you wish. One hand stance. And then there are other stances. Let's see, removes the corruption from the squad. I'm not sure exactly what that means, but I guess that only comes on if you have a corruption on there. So the only 2 items that are added are these 2, but your effectiveness and cooldown will also be influenced by the points you put in there. I'll put that there for now. And that's the commander. We have fought large numbers of enemies before, but never so many foes as this. There will be simply too many enemies for our hero to dispatch alone. We must use other methods against them if we are to survive. We will not fight the Uruks down here unless the battle goes ill. Yeah. We will try to lessen their numbers from afar with ranged weapons and siege equipment. Leglo speaks the truth. Every foe we slay from a distance is one less foe to fight up close. We will see them marching in formation towards us. If we can aim our ballistae at those formations and fire at the right moment, we will face fewer enemies up close. Every one of those marching foes will scale our walls. We should lessen their number if we can. But I know little about siege equipment. I can tell you about it if you like. Yeah, so here's the siege engineer. The engineer, he'll do about this, and he'll talk about the engineering line, which is what that little conversation was talking about. Enemies will march in formation towards us. When a formation reaches our position, enemies will engage in close combat. We should use siege equipment to lessen their numbers first, before that happens. Anyone can build and use basic siege equipment. Other options become available by spending points in the engineering battle roll. Now, I'll be emphasizing engineering. Pineleaf, come with me to practice building and using siege equipment. You can build such devices by interacting with their transparent outlines. Now, the ones with every time the progress circle fills up, the device moves closer to completion. Once the device is built, you can interact with it to aim it, load it, and fire it. Now, try it now if you like. Now, I should note that more than one person can do it at the same time, and if they do it, it just makes it faster, since siege equipment is naturally designed for crews. So therefore, you have several types in there. Some of them you have in boxes that you could set anywhere you want. But at the very beginning, if you have no ranks in engineering, you're going to be stuck with just using these. And those are the ones that are pre-placed and therefore set up for easy assembly and thus usable by anyone. Now, you have two choices, either upgrades to it, which probably aren't going to be much anyway because I have no upgrades yet, since the earliest upgrade requires engineering rank 1. And then we can build it. And this says it'll take 4 seconds to do. And that's 4 seconds for each cycle. And as you can see, this requires several cycles though in order to complete. And eventually it'll stop when it is finally fully built. You can see up here where it shows the progress you are making, and it's almost complete. There we go. Now we have a small ballista, which is a level 95 ballista, since big battles are at level 95. So now next I can load a bolt. Alright, that takes a little bit faster at least. And now you can crank it. And that takes, alright, fortunately that takes only 1 cycle to do. And now this will fire, but you also use these in order to aim. So I can aim up a little bit. And you have this target circle here so you can see where you are going. So that takes 4 seconds per step on the aim, so I think that's enough for that. And now we should be able to fire. Boom. I'm not sure what exactly is attached to that bolt because you have the fire going in there. But you can see that there are flames coming off of it. It's probably set up to work like a high explosive or whatever they can do, since let's face it, so they'll save maybe oil or something like in there so that it'll affect infantry better, because let's face it, firing a ballista into a pile of infantry is probably not going to be the most effective way to do things. Alright. Now let's see how the catapult works. Oh yes, alright. And now let's build this. And this will take a little time. Now this has some load options, since there's more than one way in which you can load the catapult. So you see we're slowly assembling the various pieces to it. So it looks like you see the next thing to be built plus, so you see solid for what is built, and then you see in a as the shadow of the next section to be built. And then you crank that up. And you see this takes a little bit more time in order to do this. So it's done in steps. If you fire this prematurely, it won't go nearly as far. And alright, this catapult looks like it's a trebuchet. Alright, so you have 5 different types of shells that are possible. A regular shell is what you just start out with. Then when you get to rank 2, you can start having a heavier shell. At rank 4, you can start using grape shot, which I'm sure could be really effective against orcs. Then you have triple shells. And then at rank 6, you can have a spread shell, which I don't know exactly how that one works, but I will presume I'll find out when I reach rank 6. There you go. And that thing is on fire. I presume they're expecting it to break apart and scatter all over the place as soon as it lands. Also have your powder options. Starting at rank 3, you can have demoralizing powder. Leeching, which will slowly leeching powder, slow power if you want to slow them down, and rending power, which will rend their armor. So you have powders that could reduce their effectiveness. I would presume that it takes time to load those, so it'll slow you down in preparation. You have 300 work units, so it'll take you 3 seconds in order to add this to it. 300 seconds if you are at base work unit rate. And you see here you cannot aim this up and down, it's just left or right. Though I presume you could stop early if you wanted to. Oh, yeah, there it is there. Because there's a white circle there. Alright. And now if we fire this, boom. You can load it before you do it down. That way you can see the markers better. Because if you see the markers, then at least you know when to stop cranking. Since that's one way you can control your range. Though I suspect it'll be rare that you want to go less than your full range. Alright, okay, there's a dip in the terrain at that point. No one. I wouldn't want to be an orc in that area. And that is the... Well, as I said, it looks like it's a trebuchet rather than a catapult. And a ballista. There are 3 different battle roles in which you can specialize. These roles are Engineer, who specialize in the things I just showed you, but they also set traps all throughout the area. Vanguard, those are the ones who wish to go deep into the fray, which I only recommend you do that if you're of a higher level, since Vanguard means doing large numbers of battle in there personally, which means using your main skills, which is the good news. The bad news is, of course, is that if you're a lower level, you have fewer skills. And while you are scaled to 95, there are a scaled lower level character is never as good as a 95 character. So therefore, the lower your level, the less likely you want to do Vanguard and Officer. And those are the ones who work a lot in giving the orders. So you're more concerned with giving orders to the various officers than you are in actually going out up front and killing the enemy quickly. You probably just do that, give orders, maybe kill a couple of enemies, then go back to getting your next order. Alright, by performing well during battles, you earn points that you can spend on the roles in the promotions panel, becoming more effective in your chosen specialization. And there was a dev diary that talked about that, in that the points you get depends on your best medal that you have gotten in each of the side quests or the main quests, and you add all that together. There are 8 instances. Yes, the The group ones count separately, so if you want to get the most of them, you work on the groups in addition to the solo ones. And if you get bronze, then you won't be able to. If you get bronze one time, you get a point for that. If later you get a silver, you get another point for. There's another point or another two. Okay, I double. You get more. You gain more points as you progress along. But if you keep on getting a bronze result, you don't get any more points for that. So you either need to do other quests in order to get additional points, or you need to get better results after some time. But anyway, you can speak to each of the representatives to tell them what they have to tell the officer. The reason why you have to talk to the officer instead of to the commander here is because the commander is there to give orders through. So the officer is here to explain things. Then, if you want to excel in issuing orders to commanders and provide useful information, then focus on the officer. Battle role, officers issue effective commands. Right. Alright, continue quest. Alright. Now here's the engineer, just to say the same thing. You want to be able to make siege equipment more quickly. You want to do upgrades, you want to place traps, then you want this role. And finally, the Vanguard is you want to stand toe-to-toe with enemy forces. And with Vanguard, when you put up in range, you unlock more powerful attacks that you can gain in addition to your basic attacks. I would count mere survival of the battle a success given the forces arrayed before us. But the truest victory is one in which we overcome all the challenges the battle brings. As the battle ebbs and flows, there may be presented with optional side objectives. These are not necessary for victory, but completing them successfully will add to the merit you earn in the battle and a measure of our victory. The more practice at a certain battle role, the more skilled you will become. The more efficient you are, the better you perform on the merit you earn. Yes. Side objectives are optional, but if you can complete them, they will gain more merit. Merit leads to greater recognition among your fellows, but also to real rewards. Rewards! The thrill of battle is all the reward I will need. Yeah, it sounds like Gimli. Well spoken, my friend. What do you say, Pine Leaf? Is there anything else you would like to ask? And here, I guess you have lots of stuff, which I'm not going to read. It is very complicated, but I believe I understand what Aragorn has said to us. We will do well. We'll see. But next time, I will actually attempt the first of the big battles. Now, I have done them with the level 85 character. And I'll see next time how well I can solo one of the big battles with a level 53 character. Unfortunately, see that my item is reasonably up to date because I have a level 53 spear. And the reason for this, your weapons are upgraded with you, and they're upgraded with the same relative position as your you are, so as they are to you. So therefore, this is a 51 spear of javelin. Since it's a 51 javelin, it's 2 levels below me, which means that when I'm scaled, I'll be a level 93 javelin. But that is the tutorial. You'll probably want to try it again yourself to the tutorial if you had trouble following what I just went through in here, and to give yourself a little practice time. But next time we'll actually go to the Battle of Helm's Deep, where we will help to defend Helm's Dyke. And until then, this is Pine Leaf Needles. May your shield protect you, and your spear never break.